So today's topic is COVID-19 vaccine. First of all, what is immunization? Immunization, it is a procedure in which immunobiological substances are administered to strengthen the defense mechanism as to protect the individual against the disease. There are two types of immunization, active and passive. And what are vaccines? Vaccine, it is an immunobiological substances that produces a specific protection against a given disease that are used for the active immunization. It is an example of active immunization. Now, commonly the vaccines are of different type, such as live vaccine, killed vaccine, toxoid, cellular fraction, subunit vaccine, recombinant vaccine, combined vaccine, and tissue culture vaccine. Now, different type of COVID-19 vaccines. Basically, the best COVID-19 vaccine, the most important frequently asked question, which vaccine is best? So the best COVID-19 vaccine is the first one that is available to you. Do not wait for a specific brand. All currently authorized and recommended COVID-19 vaccine are safe, effective, and reduce the risk of severe illness and death. Now, there are basically four types of vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines in clinical trial: whole virus vaccine, protein subunits, viral vectors, and nucleic acid vaccines. Now, first of all, we have to know about the vaccine efficacy and vaccine effectiveness. Vaccine efficacy and vaccine effectiveness measures the proportionate reduction of disease among the vaccinated person compared to an unvaccinated group. Vaccine efficacy is used when a study is carried out under the ideal condition, for example, during a clinical trial. And vaccine effectiveness, it is used when a study is carried out under typical field that is less than perfectly controlled as in clinical trial conditions and in a bigger population. So vaccine efficacy studies are used to measure several possible outcomes such as disease attack rate, hospitalization, medical visits, and cost. However, vaccine effectiveness measures how well a vaccine performs when it is used in routine circumstances in the community. Now, vaccine, the greater the percentage reduction of illness in the vaccinated group, the greater the vaccine efficacy or effectiveness. The basic formula is vaccine efficacy is equal to attack rate of unvaccinated people minus attack rate of vaccinated people, and it is divided by attack rate of vaccinated people, and the multiplier is 100. So the outcome comes in percentages. Now comes to the whole virus vaccine. There are two main approaches: live attenuated and inactivated vaccine. Live attenuated vaccine use a weakened form of the virus which can still grow and replicate but does not cause the illness. However, inactivated vaccine, it contains virus whose genetic material has been destroyed by heat, chemicals, or radiation, so they cannot infect cell and replicate but can still trigger an immune response. Live attenuated ones may risk causing disease in the people with weak immune system and often require careful cold storage. Inactivated virus vaccine can be given to a people with compromised immune system but might also need cold storage. Now, how do whole virus vaccine trigger immunity? The immune system responds to live attenuated virus as it would be any other cellular invader, mobilizing a range of defense against it. It includes killer T cell, helper T cell, and antibody producing B cell. Killer T cell which identify and destroy the infected cell, helper T cell which support antibody production, and antibody producing B cell which target pathogens lurking elsewhere in the body such as in the blood, the immune response continues until the virus is cleared from the body. That means there is a plenty of time for memory cell against the virus to develop. Because of this, live attenuated vaccine can trigger an immune response which is almost as good as being exposed to the wild virus but without falling ill. What are different advantages? It is well established technology, it causes strong immune response. Immune response involves B and T cells, and relatively it is simple to manufacture. How do whole virus vaccine trigger the immunity? Inactivated virus vaccine also contain the disease causing virus or parts of it, but their genetic material has been destroyed. For this reason, they are considered safer and more stable than live attenuated vaccine. And it can be given to people with compromised immune system. Inactivated virus usually contain many proteins which the immune system can react to. Inactivated vaccines cannot infect cells, so they only stimulate antibody mediated response, and this response may be weaker and less long lived. To overcome this problem, inactivated vaccine are often given along with adjuvant. The adjuvant are the agent that stimulate the immune response. So the booster doses may be required. It is also a well established technology and suitable for people with compromised immune system. No live components, so no risk of the vaccine triggering disease, and it is relatively simple to manufacture. Now, protein subunit vaccine. Rather than injecting a whole pathogen to trigger an immune response, subunit vaccine, sometimes called the acellular vaccine, use purified pieces of pathogen, often fragments of protein, to trigger an immune response. In these fragments, as these fragments are incapable of causing disease, subunit vaccine are considered to be very safe. It minimizes the risk of side effects, but it also means the immune response may be weaker. This is why they often require adjuvant to help boost the immune response. Now, how do subunit vaccine trigger the immunity? As antigen do not infect cell, subunit vaccine mainly only trigger antibody mediated immune response. Again, this means the immune response may be weaker than with other type of vaccines, so it may be delivered along with adjuvant, and booster doses also may be required. It is advantage, it is relatively cheap and stable and well established technologies, and it is relatively complex to manufacture. Now, nucleic acid vaccine. Nucleic acid vaccine uses genetic material, either RNA or DNA, from the disease causing virus to stimulate an immune response against it, with the instruction to make the antigen. In the case of COVID-19, it is usually the viral spike protein. Once this genetic material gets into the human cell, it uses our cell's protein factories to make the antigen that will trigger an immune response. Since the antigen is produced inside our own cell and in large quantities, the immune reaction should be strong. This is relatively new technology. So, although DNA and RNA vaccine are being developed against the various diseases including HIV, Zika and COVID-19 now so far, but none of them had been approved for human use before the COVID-19 vaccine. Several DNA vaccines are licensed for animal use, including a horse vaccine against West Nile virus. In addition, RNA vaccine need to be kept at ultra cold temperature such as -70° or lower, which could prove challenging for countries, particularly in low and middle income countries. Now, how do the nucleic acid vaccine trigger immunity? In the case of DNA vaccine, a piece of DNA encoding the antigen is first inserted into a bacterial plasmid. Bacterial plasmid is a circular piece of DNA used by bacterium to store and share gene which may benefit its survival, a bit like computer flash drive. Plasmid can replicate independently and provide a simple tool for transferring gene between the cells. Because of this, they are already widely used within the field of genetic engineering. And RNA vaccine contain RNA, which when introduced into the tissue act as messenger RNA to cause the cell to build the foreign protein and stimulate an adaptive immune response. The delivery of messenger RNA is achieved by co-formulation of the molecule into the lipid nanoparticles, which protect the RNA strand and help their absorption into the cell. Once the DNA and RNA is inside the cell and it starts producing antigen, these are then displayed on its surfaces, where they can detected by the immune system, triggering a response. This response includes killer T cell, which seek out and destroy infected cell, as well as antibody producing B cell and helper T cell, which support antibody production. Now, what are different advantages and disadvantages of nucleic acid vaccine? The immune response involves B and T cells, no live components, so no risk of vaccine triggering disease. It is relatively cheap and easy to manufacture, but booster shot may be required. Where viral RNA does not tamper with our own genetic code, because it does not enter the nucleus and so does not come into contact with our DNA. Also, RNA disintegrates within about 72 hours. The RNA can be injected by itself, encapsulated with nanoparticles such as in Pfizer, or driven into the cell using some of the same techniques being developed by DNA vaccine, that is electroporation or gene gun. Electroporation, when where short pulses of electric current are used to create temporary pores in human cells membrane, and gene gun, which uses helium to propel DNA into the skin cell and encapsulating the DNA in nanoparticles, which are designed to fuse with the cell membrane. Now comes to the virus vector vaccine. Virus vector based vaccine don't actually contain the antigen, but rather use the body's own cell to produce them. They do this by using a modified virus, that is vector, to deliver genetic code for antigen. Adenovirus has often been used as a vector. There are two main type of viral vector based vaccine, that is non-replicating and replicating. Replicating vector vaccine are unable to make new viral particles. They only produce the vaccine antigen, in this case spike proteins. Replicating vectors vaccine also produces new viral particles in the cell, which then go on to infect new cells that will also make the vaccine antigen. Adenovirus is the virus that causes the common cold. It is also well established technology. It induces a strong immune response and it is relatively complex to manufacture. Now, how do the vector vaccine trigger immunity? The host cell only receives code to make antigen. The viral vector acts as a delivery system, providing a means to invade the cell and insert the code for a different viruses. The virus itself is harmless, and by getting the cells only to produce the antigen. When the immune cell detect the foreign antigen, they trigger a strong cellular response by antibody producing B cell as well as T cells, which seek out destroy infected cells. The vaccine mimics what happens during the natural infection with certain pathogens. Now, what is important to remember, different type of vaccine work in different ways to offer protection, but with all type of vaccine, the body is left with a supply of memory T lymphocyte as well as B lymphocyte that will remember how to fight the virus in future. Sometimes after vaccination, the process of building immunity can cause symptoms such as fever. These symptoms are normal and are signs that the body is building immunity. And it is typically takes a few weeks after vaccination for the body to produce T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte. Therefore, It is possible that a person could be infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 just before or just after the vaccination and then get sick because of the vaccine did not have enough time to provide protection. Now there are very frequent queries: how did we get COVID-19 vaccine so quickly, and how did scientists manage to develop the safe COVID-19 vaccine just in 10 months? So the COVID pandemic has demonstrated that it is possible to develop, test and review multiple safe and effective vaccine against a new disease in less than a year. An unprecedented combination of the political will, global collaboration, and funding have enabled the rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines without compromising the vaccine safety. What are different things? That is funding. COVAX, a global collaboration involving 190 countries and economies, government have shared some of the financial risk associated with scale up and manufacturing the large volume of vaccine before they are licensed. Such funding has given vaccine researchers the resources they need to do clinical sciences, quickly advancing from clinical to later stages of research, and vaccine manufacturer the confidence to scale up manufacturing capacity far sooner than they normally would. Now, what is COVAX? With a fast moving pandemic, no one is safe unless everyone is safe. COVAX, it is a collaborative global initiative co-led by CEPI, Gavi and WHO alongside key delivery partner UNICEF. Why we need COVAX? In responding a pandemic, speed is everything. We need to develop vaccines, scale up manufacturing capacity and deliver vaccine around the world as quickly as possible. COVAX bring together experts from around the world to collaborate on the research and development of the wide range of COVID-19 vaccine candidate and manufacturing, procurement and delivery of the vaccine once approved. Now there is plug and play vaccine. What is plug and play? The use of already being developed platform technologies such as messenger RNA and vector vaccines has also facilitated rapid development of COVID-19 vaccine. Plug and play system where once a suitable antigen, in this case SARS COVID virus, has been identified, its DNA or RNA sequence can be dropped into a pre-validated platform to create a vaccine candidate. Both Pfizer and Oxford University AstraZeneca vaccine are the example of plug and play. In fact, that these technology were already being developed for other virus undoubtedly help. New technologies also involved. There are two of the new technology developed by Pfizer and Moderna use messenger RNA technology. The advantage of messenger RNA vaccine that they are fast to develop, cheaper and easier to manufacture, and more traditional than the more traditional vaccines. Although RNA vaccine have not been used on the public before, this technology have been carefully developed for over a decade, and there are many reasons to be reassured that they are safe. Another factor is knowledge sharing. Identifying a suitable antigen to trigger an immune response is a crucial step in this development process. Once the first COVID-19 antigen, that is coronavirus genome, was mapped out, it was made public by Chinese scientists within hours. The sharing of information about the antigen from related coronavirus that caused SARS and MERS also helped, and together these insights may have saved years. Once promising antigen are identified, these are tested in animals, that is preclinical trials, to investigate their safety and ability to trigger a small enough immune response. These first two steps alone can take 5 to 6 years. Now another factor is parallel trials. The next step of vaccine development is human trials. After preclinical, there is human trials, which usually proceed subsequently, starting with phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, phase 4. Phase 1 is safety trials in small number of people. Phase 2, large group and finally phase 3 trial involved thousands or tens of the thousands of people. Going through all of these phases can take up of a decade. However, in the case of COVID-19 vaccine, this trial has overlapped, speeding up the process. Social media and keen public interest in COVID-19 has also made it faster and easier to recruit the trial participants. Running clinical trial also in parallel has also allowed researchers to learn as they go, adding different risk groups along the way to build a more complete profile of how effective the vaccine will be across different demographies. Now, clinical trial, as I have already told, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Phase 1 primarily it is used to test the vaccine safety, determine doses and identify any potential side effect in a small number of people. Phase 2 further explores safety and start to investigate efficacy on larger group. Phase 3, which few vaccine ever make it to, are much larger, involving thousands or tens of the thousand people to confirm and assess the effectiveness of the vaccine and test whether there were any rare side effect that only shown up in large groups. Phase 4, that is final stage, it conducted after national regulatory approval and it involves further monitoring in a wide population over a longer time frame as a form of post-marketing surveillance, that is pharmacovigilance. Lots of COVID-19 disease also help to develop quickly the vaccine. Clinical trials can also take a long time if a disease is rare, because in this case it takes more time to be able to determine if the vaccine recipient were less likely to develop a disease than a people who did not receive the vaccine. The large number of cases of COVID-19, including in countries with extensive infrastructure to conduct randomized clinical trial, has been tragedy for humanity, but has also accelerated testing of the vaccine that will help to bring this crisis to an end. Streamlined regulatory approval is also an important factor, because the regulatory approval process is expensive and risky for companies, and regulatory agencies require detailed and extensive data on vaccine to approve them. Companies must usually wait for all the data about a vaccine to accumulate before submitting it in one go. However, because of the health emergency, many regulatory agencies have introduced a process of rolling review of COVID-19 vaccine, allowing data to be submitted and assessed as it becomes available rather than waiting. Now, prioritization. COVID-19 vaccine are an excellent example of what can be done when a very large number of people make accomplishing a common goal their top priority. A key element underlying all of these advances is that everyone involved with developing, testing, evaluating and reviewing COVID-19 vaccine has made that work their top priority. Competing priorities can be challenging at all stages of taking a new vaccine, from being an idea to be a safe and effective product ready to be administered to general public. Now, how safe are COVID-19 vaccine? Despite the record speed at which they have been developed, COVID-19 vaccine have still been subjected to the same checks, balance and scientific and regulatory rigor as any other vaccine as shown to be safe. Any possible risks that may exist are considerably lower than those associated with COVID-19 infection and vastly outweighed by the benefit of protecting people and preventing the virus from spreading. Ensuring safety. A candidate vaccine goes through several stages before it can be given to people to ensure safety, right from the exploratory sciences to preclinical testing, then clinical development, finally regulatory review and approval, manufacturing and quality control. Preclinical studies is in a vaccine is tested to see whether it is toxic, how it reacts to body, and it is to identify a safe dose before testing and vaccine candidate in the people. And human trial, as already told, it designed to spot side effects. These are not the same as temporary short-term reactions such as headaches, sore arm, fatigue, chills, and fever, which are not uncommon in other vaccine or injection and are usually not harmful in long term. But it monitors genuine side effects, means anything that is long lasting and potentially dangerous. Now, global consensus on adverse event relevant to COVID-19 vaccine. The Task Force for Global Health Brighton collaboration is a group of more than 750 vaccine experts working on COVID-19 vaccine safety in partnership with the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, that is CEPI, which together with Gavi and WHO. They are also drafting list of potential adverse event of special interest of COVID-19 vaccine candidate which are reviewed by WHO. This could be respiratory, cardiac, acute renal and hepatic injury and or sepsis. Now there are some recent update. Around the world, there are now 105 COVID-19 vaccine candidate undergoing clinical trial and 184 candidate in preclinical development. Now, according to WHO site, the COVID-19 vaccine race shows the preclinical vaccine 184, phase 1 36, phase 2 34, phase 3 27, in use 17 and phase 4 8 vaccines are there. Now filter of different type of clinical phases, that picture show phase 3 and 4 clinical development of different vaccine in different part of world. Phase 4, first of all we are talking about Moderna. It is RNA vaccine. The vaccine has been developed by Moderna in Cambridge and funded by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, which is a part of US National Institute of Health. The final trial result confirmed that the vaccine has a 94% efficacy and it need to be kept in ultra cold freezers. In February, a phase 4 trial was launched as a part of a national cohort study in collaboration with the Danish Ministry of the Interior and Health. Second vaccine in phase 4 is AstraZeneca viral vector vaccine. It is developed by University of Oxford, UK, has a vaccine efficacy up to 90% and has been granted emergency use authorization by European Medicine Agency as well as national regulators in UK, Argentina, India, Mexico, Brazil and Pakistan. Although the efficacy is slightly lower than the Moderna and Pfizer vaccine, it is fridge safe, meaning that it can be easily transported anywhere in the world. It was also found to be 100% effective against severe disease. In February 21, a phase 4 trial was launched as a part of national cohort study in collaboration with Danish Ministry of Interior and Health. In March 21, the University of Oxford registered a further phase 1 trial in UK with 30 adult participants to investigate the delivery of its vaccine using a nasal spray, which is currently being delivered by intramuscular injection. The same dose is given as a nasal spray. By using a different technique that administers the vaccine to the site of infection, researchers at Oxford intend to investigate whether this result in enhanced protection, especially against the transmission and mild disease. Now, third vaccine in phase 4 is Pfizer. It is in its final efficacy analysis, the data shows a vaccine efficacy is around 95%. In December 2020, UK became the first country in the world to approve this vaccine and began rolling out an initial 8 lakh doses at the start of month. In February, a phase 4 trial was launched as a part of national cohort study in collaboration with the Danish Ministry of Interior and Health. Now, next vaccine is phase 4 is Sinovac from China. Sinovac conducted phase 3 trial involving volunteer in Brazil, Indonesia and Turkey. Although it is not yet approved by regulators, shipments have already arrived in Indonesia and ready for rollout. The company began phase 4 trial in February 21. Next vaccine is Casino Biological. It is also again from China. The COVID-19 vaccine was jointly developed with the Institute of Biotechnology of the Academy of Military Medical Sciences. In 25 June 2020, the Chinese military approved the vaccine for a year as a specially needed drug, which is unusual given that at that point phase 2 result has not been collected. In May 21, the company registered a phase 4 trial with 300 adult participants who have been primed with either 1 or 2 doses of inactive SARS-CoV virus 2 vaccine. Now there are also many different vaccines in phase 3 such as Beijing Institute, BBI-BP, Corvi, Sinopharm, Covaxin from India, Sputnik V from Russia, Janssen, Johnson & Johnson, Novavax. It is protein subunit vaccine. Zydus Cadila from India, it is a DNA vaccine. Ahui Zhifei from China, Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences. Quazakvac from Kazakhstan, CureVac from Germany, Sanofi Pasteur protein subunit vaccine. Also Sabrina 2 from Cuba, Epivac Corona from Russia, Abdala, Arco V Virocell and VLA 2001. Now this picture shows phase 2 the vaccine in different part of world in phase 2, 3, phase 2, phase 1, 2, phase 1. Now what are different adverse events following immunization, that is AEFI. Timely detection and reporting of adverse event following COVID-19 immunization is the first step in the continuous verification of vaccine safety. Surveillance system need to be prepared for identifying and responding to both adverse event following immunization and adverse event of the special interest, as well as other safety event that may cause public concern, including incidents of the substandard or counterfeit vaccine. AEFI and AESI can be detected through passive and active surveillance respectively. In the context of COVID-19 vaccination, surveillance system need to be prepared for identify and responding to both adverse event following immunization and adverse event of special interest, as well as other safety event that may cause public concern, including incidents of substandard or counterfeit vaccine. Now there are different definitions. AEFI are any untoward medical event that follow immunization and that do not necessarily have a causal relationship with the immunization. The adverse event may be any unfavorable or unintended sign, abnormal laboratory finding, symptom or disease, and the same definition will continue to be used to identify and report all AEFI following COVID-19 vaccination. Types of AEFI in case of COVID-19 vaccination. For the purpose of reporting, AEFI can be classified as minor, severe and serious event. Minor AEFI include common cold, self-limiting reaction, pain, swelling at injection site, fever, irritability, malaise, etc. In severe AEFI, it can be disabling and rarely life-threatening, do not lead to long-term problem. Example of severe reaction include non-hospitalized case of anaphylaxis that has recovered, high-grade fever that is more than 102 degree Fahrenheit, etc. And serious AEFI result in death. It requires inpatient hospitalization, result in persistent or significant disability. There are AEFI clusters, evokes significant parental or community concern. Now there are term cluster. Two or more cases of the same or similar event that an AEFI cluster are usually associated with a particular vaccine manufacturer, a health facility, a vaccine batch, or a vial of vaccine when multi-dose presentation are used. So cluster is a cluster occur when two or more AFI resulted in time, place, or vaccine occurred together. Now what is signal? Signal is the information that arises from one or multiple sources including observation and experiment which suggest a new potentially causal association or a new aspect of known association between an intervention and an event or set of related events, either adverse or beneficial, that is judged to be sufficient likelihood to justify the verification action. Now the picture shows the AEFI cycle. It outlines the different steps of identification, notification, reporting, investigation, data analysis, casualty assessment, and feedback following AEFI. It includes AEFI following COVID-19 immunization. AEFI detection primarily takes place through routine passive surveillance, spontaneous reporting in many countries. This involves vaccine recipient, healthcare workers, staff, and immunization and healthcare facility detecting AEFI and reporting them to any healthcare worker within the healthcare system. AEFI can also be detected through active surveillance via sentinel site or through the cohort event monitoring. In addition, AEFI may be detected in phase 4 clinical studies of AEFI for COVID-19 vaccine, where they should be independently reported, assessed and processed in compliance with the study protocol and should not be reported through the passive reporting system. Now here is detail of some COVID-19 vaccines. Detail of Covaxin, Covishield and Sputnik in this slide. The dose is 0.5 ml. Two doses are given in case of Covaxin at 4 to 6 weeks apart, Covishield 12 to 14 weeks apart, and Sputnik is 2 doses are given 21 days apart. All the vaccine is given intramuscularly, Napanam, and all the vaccine administered for more than 18 years of age. Storage is 2 to 8 degree. Previously Sputnik was stored at minus 18 degree, but nowadays it is prepared for store 2 to 8 degree centigrade. In this slide there are further 3 vaccine: Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Janssen and Pfizer. In this case Pfizer can be given for 12 month or above age group and its efficacy is 95%. In this slide there are 3 vaccines: Zydus Cadila DNA based vaccine, Novavax and CoronaVac. Now some common side effects might be experienced after getting COVID-19 vaccine: mild headache, pain or swelling at the injection site, mild fever and irritability. The side effects should go away in few days. Get the second dose even if you have side effects from the first shot unless a vaccine provider or your doctor advise you otherwise. Now there are some frequently asked questions. Is it safe for me to get a COVID-19 vaccine if I would like to have a baby one day? Yes. If you are trying to become pregnant now or want to get pregnant in future, you may get COVID-19 vaccine when one is available to you. There is currently no evidence that COVID-19 vaccination causes any problem with pregnancy, including the development of the placenta. In addition, there is no evidence that the fertility problem are a side effect of COVID-19 vaccine. Is it safe for me to get a COVID-19 vaccine if I am a lactating mother? Yes. If you are a lactating mother, you may get a COVID-19 vaccine whenever it is available to you based on How these vaccine work in the body? COVID-19 vaccine are thought not to be a risk of lactating mother and her breastfeeding babies. Therefore, lactating mother can receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Another query, can receive a COVID-19 vaccine cause you be magnetic? No, receiving a COVID-19 vaccine will not make you magnetic, including at the site of vaccination, which is usually your arm. All COVID-19 vaccine are free from metals such as iron, nickel, cobalt, lithium and rare earth alloys. In addition, the typical dose of the COVID-19 vaccine is less than a milliliter, which is not enough to allow magnet to be attracted to your vaccination site even if a vaccine was filled with a magnetic metal. Can a COVID-19 vaccine make me sick with COVID-19? That is COVID. No, none of the authorized and recommended COVID-19 vaccine contain the live virus that causes COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccine teaches our immune system how to recognize and fight the virus that causes COVID-19. Sometimes this process can cause symptoms such as fever. These symptoms are normal and are signs that the body is building protection. It typically takes a few weeks for the body to build immunity after vaccination. That means it's possible a person could be infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 just before or just after vaccination and still get sick. This is because the vaccine has not had enough time to provide protection. Can being near someone who receive a COVID-19 vaccine affect my menstrual cycle? No, your menstrual cycle cannot be affected by being vaccinated or being near someone who received a COVID-19 vaccine. Many things can affect menstrual cycle instead, including stress, change in your schedule program with sleep, and change your diet or exercise. Infection may also affect the menstrual cycle. So, this is a time for facts, not fear. This is a time for rationality, not rumors. This is a time for solidarity, not stigma. Now, thank you. Always remember 3 rules for safety. Always wear mask, maintain distance and wash hand regularly and do with soap and water.